Hello guys and girls, welcome back to Exams A to Z platform. Do follow us on Telegram channel and the website for latest alt updates. And before I start off, manaki group 2 online test series anedi you know that Exams A to Z team has already started 19th April nunchi first test anedi begin ayipindi. But no matter if you haven't joined also till now, you can still join because free mock test anedi ippudiki available. You just call us on this number, register your name so that we'll give you the login details and you can just write your free mock, and with that you can assess your performance and you can also assess our quality of questions. Danvalla you can have a freehand approach of how the questions will be there and how the test series is going to run anedi. And with this we are also providing the video solutions where you can understand where you are lagging and how to read the static books which you already possess. Akkadi nunche anedi solutions అనేది డిజైన్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది and how effectively you are utilizing your materials అనేది దీని వీడియోస్ ద్వారా మీకు ఈజీగా అర్థమయ్యేలాగా డిజైన్ చేసిన టెస్ట్ సిరీస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇది. Along with it, you'll also get this personal guidance, regular motivation, monitoring your performances, where you lag, where you have to improve, and everything all in one solution on Mate Group 2 online test series. It's just not an online test series, okay? So on that note, you already మనకి 19th April na first test అనేది జరిగిపోయింది. సో దాని సొల్యూషన్స్ అనేది ఇక్కడ డిస్కస్ చేసేద్దాం. సో ద ప్లాన్ ఆఫ్ ద సొల్యూషన్స్ ఎలా వస్తాయంటే ప్రతి టెస్ట్కి మేము ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఏ పోర్షన్ అయితే మీకు డీల్ చేస్తామో చాప్టర్ వైజ్గా వీఆర్ డివైడింగ్ ది వీడియో సెషన్స్ అనమాట. ప్రియాంబుల్ వేరేగా, దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ సేలియన్ ఫీచర్స్ వేరేగా, ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్ వేరేగా, డ్యూటీస్ వేరేగా, డిపిఎస్పీస్ వేరేగా, దాని నుంచి వచ్చిన క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని ఒక దగ్గర పూల్ చేసి అవి ఎగ్జామ్ పరంగా ఎలా అడగడం జరిగింది, హౌ ద ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ఆల్సో ఆస్డ్, మీరు చదువుతున్న లక్ష్మీకాంత్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ నుంచి ఎక్కడెక్కడ పోర్షన్స్ లిఫ్ట్ చేసి అడగడం జరిగింది, దీనివలన అండ్ సబ్సిక్వెంట్ టెస్ట్లో మీరు ఎలా అనేది ఇంప్రూవ్ అనేది ఈ సొల్యూషన్స్ అనేది మీకు చాలా హెల్ప్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి అనమాట. బికాస్ దిస్ టెస్ట్ solution pattern will determine like how effectively you are going to read your textbooks which are available with you. So on that note, let's quickly start off this today's session. సో ఇవాళ సెషన్లో ఐ విల్ బి డీలింగ్ ఆల్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ 19th April ఫస్ట్ టెస్ట్లో ఏమేమి క్వశ్చన్స్ వచ్చాయి, లైక్ రిగార్డింగ్ ద ప్రియాంబుల్ అండ్ ఫీచర్స్ ఆఫ్ ద కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఒక దగ్గర క్లబ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. అండ్ ద ప్యాటర్న్ వుడ్ బి లైక్ ఫస్ట్ నేను క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్న డిస్కస్ చేసేస్తాను అండ్ దెన్ ద రిలేటెడ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అనేది ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసేద్దాం. సో అలా మిక్స్డ్ అప్రోచ్లో విల్ జస్ట్ క్యారీ ఆన్ లైక్ అరౌండ్ లైక్ 16 slides ఉన్నాయి. సో ఐ ఫినిష్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ద పోర్షన్స్ దట్ వర్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ప్రియాంబుల్ అండ్ ఫీచర్స్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్. So some of the questions that were asked from the sovereign and secular portions of the features of the constitution. So దాని పరంగా డెఫినేషన్ చూస్తే మీ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ నుంచి sovereign implies that మనం ఏ కంట్రీ కూడా డొమినియన్ కానీ కొలోనియల్ టైప్లో ఉండటం లేదు అండ్ వీఆర్ అన్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అ స్టేట్ అనమాట. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది sovereign meaning, that we are, although we are a part of Commonwealth nations by 1949 agreement, but still we are free to engage our affairs with the other countries and free to rule ourselves. So that is the importance of the sovereign state, that India can either acquire a foreign state or secede any foreign state on its favor, like on its own terms it can rule its own governance anamata. So that is sovereign. Next comes secular ane word manaki 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 ద్వారా యాడ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. And this is another important పోర్షన్ వేర్ మీకు ఎస్ఐ కానీ కానిస్టేబుల్ కానీ లైక్ ఈవెన్ ఆర్ఆర్బి ఎస్ఎస్సి ఈ పోర్షన్ అనేది వెరీ రెగ్యులర్ రిపీటింగ్ క్వశ్చన్ అనమాట. దట్ ఈస్ వై వీ హ్యావ్ టు జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ అ గ్లాన్స్ ఆఫ్ what do you mean by actually secular is that positive concept is that all religions of the country same status and support state నుంచి ప్రతి స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ కానీ సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ కానీ ఈక్వల్గా అన్ని రిలీజియన్స్ని ప్రమోట్ చేయడమే ఆ సెక్యులరిజం యొక్క కాన్సెప్ట్ యొక్క అర్థం అనమాట. సో ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్ లెట్స్ గెట్ ఇన్ టు ద నెక్స్ట్ డిస్కషన్. So here in this slide, the next slide says that according to article 368, like preamble అనేది amend అవుతుందా లేదా, దాన్ని మనం చేంజ్ చేయొచ్చా లేదా అనే దానికి 3 cases were important. ఓకే, ద ఫస్ట్ కేస్ వాజ్ కేశవనంద భారతి కేస్ ఇన్ 1973. ఇది ఏమన్నదంటే ప్రియాంబుల్ కెనాట్ బి అమెండ్మెంట్ యాజ్ ఇట్స్ ఇస్ నాట్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్. కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్లో ఉన్నది మాత్రమే మనం అమెండ్ చేయగలం, బట్ ప్రియాంబుల్ ఇస్ జస్ట్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ టు కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ కాబట్టి దాన్ని మనం అమెండ్ చేయలేము. అండ్ దిస్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ జడ్జ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ కేస్ అనమాట. నెక్స్ట్ కేస్ వాజ్ బేరువారి యూనియన్ ఆఫ్ 1960. అండ్ ఈ కేస్ ప్రకారం ఏం చేస్తారంటే ప్రియాంబుల్ కెన్ బి అమెండెడ్, బట్ ఏదైనా బేసిక్ స్ట్రక్చర్లో ప్రియాంబుల్లో ఉండే బేసిక్ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఏమన్నా డిఫరెన్స్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే మాత్రం అది మాత్రం ఎప్పుడు పార్లమెంట్ అనేది అమెండ్ చేయలేదని బేరువారి యూనియన్ కేసు చెప్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ ద థర్డ్ కేస్ వాజ్ ఎల్ఐసి యూనియన్ ఇండియా కేస్ case of 1995, which says that preamble is integral part of constitution. It just not just because it is an introduction, it cannot be a part and unlem kani, it is a part of a constitution kabatti, it is a very important thing kabatti you cannot amend the preamble ani last LIC case lo cheppడం జరిగింది. So these are the three cases on which a question has been framed, and later slides lo I'll just explain you like which all portions, like you know how to mark the answers and all that. Just have a brief idea, like from your books readings, how you have to derive the information anedi. For understanding that purpose, I am just referring to these cases. Okay, then there was another question which I've asked regarding the referendum also. Like referendum ante entante, all these instruments, there are some instruments like direct democracy possess, like direct democracy in the sense that directly people will be there to elect as well as to remove the governance part of the system anamata. So in that process only, referendum is one of the direct democracy instrument where a proposal will be laid and the direct voting system, based on the direct voting, suppose a president will be removed directly by the people, not by the representatives, or some legislation like reorganization of states is there, like in Switzerland something is happening, so directly people will vote, that is referendum. Then what is an initiative? Initiative where people can propose a bill to the legislature saying that okay, enact this Aadhaar bill for us, where people will start the initiative. So that is the name of the direct democracy element, is initiative. Then is recall. Recall is nothing but you recall means you get just ask a person to get down from his own position, from his own professional or the legislature position. That is a recall in provision. And then we have the plebiscite which is already been conducted in the Jammu and Kashmir also, where the public importance matter will be placed at the ground and people will voice out how they feel about the issue. So that is another direct democracy instrument. So after this, let's get into the next slide and understand the questions, how they are framed and what are the answers. So here there was a question which I've asked that which of the following statements are correct. So the first, the answer to this question is both A and B, but what are the A and B options? Let us see. In Indian constitution, it will allow for the admission of new states that are not part of the union or India. Yes, this is very true. That is what article 2 and 3 also mentions in a constitution. Then the second portion mentions that Parliament is only authorized to increase or alter any kind of a boundaries of any area, or diminishing, altering and renaming or any of the state's purposes. So yes, that is also right provision according to the article 3. So both of the statements are right. That is why the answer for this question is C. The next question is regarding the reorganization of the states. If you see, the third statement is the incorrect one, because see, in what happened in case of union territories, that union territories don't have the sovereign authority to be legislating or to govern themselves in case of any reorganization. So in this case, what happens is that central government has the total rights, or the parliament has the total rights to reorganize itself without asking the state legislature concerned. So that is why C option is wrong. And the first option, if you see, no such bill can be introduced in parliament except on the recommendation of president. Yes, this is very true. President assent is very important. Initiation of the starting of the reorganization of any state is very important. The next statement says that it is ascertained that concerned legislature with reference to the reorganization has to be there. A kind of a view or opinion is taken from the state legislature, although its opinion doesn't be mandatory on the central's power, but opinion is taken from the state government. So that is what the question is about. The incorrect statement it was asking, so C forms the incorrect one. The next, it's a direct question, like principle of social justice. Among the options, if you see, 30 and 20 already come under some of the provisions of fundamental rights. So social justice is not a part of the fundamental rights. Mostly they are like the political rights, right? So the first A and B option can be eliminated, whereas D is something that is not related. If you have just a brief idea about the election commission and all that, then you can just eliminate the D option right away. So the answer to this question 59 is C. So here we start off with the first question. Here in the slide of referendum, we've already read about this, that by direct voting, a proposed legislation is mentioned to the electorate and these people directly vote on the proposed legislation. So the answer to this question is option B. 61 question, sovereign word, what does it imply? We are not dominion or we are not subordinate to any of the countries. So we are an independent state. This is the direct answer for this question, option A. 62, which of the option is not correct? C is not correct because secularism is not a basic part of structure, which is wrong. Actually, secularism is a very most important structure, basic concept of the constitution. So the option C is wrong, and the other options are always right. Sovereignty lies in the people. That is why we say that democracy is for, by, and because of the people, and for with the people, right? The second option also is right, that secular was originally, the word secular is not present in the constitution. It was presented through the 42nd Amendment Act. So here the question goes like preamble, the three cases which you've already referred. So all of the three options mentioned is right here. That Keshananda Bharati said that preamble is a part. Berubari said that preamble is not a part. So that is why we can amend, like Parliament can amend. Then LIC case has said that preamble is an integral part, so we cannot amend it because it comes under the basic structure of constitution. So all of the three cases are right. That is why the answer to this question, incorrect they were asking. So the answer to this question is option D. Now 64, it says that socialist, the concept of socialist in preamble, which of the following is incorrect? Incorrect, it's because socialist, secular, everybody think all the things, integrity, socialist and secular were added according to the 42nd Amendment Act, but not like the 44th Amendment Act. So they were added by 42nd. So the first option itself is wrong, where the other options are also right. So these kind of questions, whenever I'm asking you about incorrect or all of the above, what my intention is through this paper is that you need to have the extra information that is being provided through these question formats also. Not just targeting the actual answers, but the other options also try to exercise upon and ponder upon them, so that brainstorming can happen, and then subsequent exams you can improve your performance. So the other options, if you see, socialism is implicit in the directive principles of state policy. Yes, it is implicit. Then Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is opposing the inclusion of socialist into preamble. Yes, he has opposed it because he thought that, at that point of time, we should have equality in the society, and socialism is kind of biased towards the economic or the socialist setup. So that is why he has been opposing to it. That is also an important point. So after this, the question answer to this 64 question is A, which is because it's an incorrect statement. 42nd Amendment Act has to be there instead of 44th. Next comes to next question. The last question of this slide is, which of the following is not a federal feature? Federal feature in the sense a state and a center exists. So according to that, president vetoing over the state bills is not a federal feature. It is totally a unitary feature where the central executive legislature is having the overpowering authority over the state. So that is why option C forms a not a federal provision, whereas the other options like bicameral legislature, written constitution, parliament's authority over the bills, all of these comes under the federal features of the Indian constitution, except for the option C. So here comes the other three set of questions. The first question forms the federal features of Indian polity. This is a direct question. I'm not discussing more into it. Flexible constitution forms one of the direct federal features of the Indian polity. Then comes your the next question of 67, which says that Government of India Act 1935 has given what all provisions to the present Constitution of India. We have taken the emergency provisions with administrative details along with the federal scheme and office of governor. Both the things we have combined and given as the Government of India Act of 1935. Next question is, what have we borrowed from Irish Constitution? We all know, all of us know, like basically if you're a first timer, first attempt guy or a girl, you would know that DPSP is something that we have borrowed from the Irish Constitution. But there are other things also that we have borrowed from the Ireland. That is nomination of members to Rajya Sabha, then and again method of election to the office of president. So all of the three provisions, that is the answer. So all of the above is the answer for these provisions that were taken from the Ireland Constitution. So these are the questions that will give you the extra form of information, guys, because these questions, just because all of the above is there and you mark it and you feel happy that you have corrected the answer, that is not the intention why we give such questions. We want you to know that there are extra information in the question and you have to jot down and you have to make your mindset while reading for the next test that these kind of provisions have been included in this test, that next test you can improve it beneficially, right? So after this slide, let's get into quickly to the next slide. So here's some discussion regarding some of the other questions which we'll be dealing with the next slide. So here comes your schedule of from 1 to 12. So I am mentioning till 8th schedule, which is like very most important in this slide. So the first schedule, you say that union and territories, all the jurisdiction is mentioned here. The name of the union territories, everything is mentioned in the first schedule. Second schedule will be related to the salaries, emoluments and allowances given to president, governor, speaker and many other positions of the official positions in the in the constitutional body of India. Then the third schedule will deal with all the oaths and affirmations of union ministers, candidates, members of parliament, everybody. Then comes your fourth schedule, which says that your Rajya Sabha allocation of the seats, that is provided on the fourth schedule. Fifth belongs to your administration of the scheduled areas and tribes. Sixth is related to the administration of tribal areas, especially of AMTM, which is Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So that is important point. Next comes your seventh schedule, where three listing has been done according to union, center, and union, which is center, state list, and then concurrent list. So how many of the subjects are there? So we have 98, then 59 and 52 subjects mentioned in the 7th schedule. Then comes your 8th schedule, which says that I am recognizing 22 official languages which will come under the 8th schedule of the constitution. So continuing the discussion of the 8th schedule, where some 22 official languages have been mentioned in the 8th schedule. Which are these? Is like Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, and all these provisions are there. If you observe here, there is no English language mentioned here. And 21st Amendment Act, through which Sindhi was added. 71st Amendment Act, through which Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali were added. And then very important provisions in previous year questions also had been asked is about 92nd Amendment Act, where Bodo, Dogri, Maithili, Santali have been added. And the final one, recent one, is about the 96th Amendment Act of 2011, where the Odia language has been renamed as Odia. So that is important provisions of the 8th schedule, according to which a question has been framed in the later slides. So that is why I am discussing here. Another portion, important portion of 9th schedule. Why is 9th schedule in news? Because the recent provisions of SC, ST in promotions or reservations, all this issue has been occurring, right? So many of the people like stalwarts or economists or politics or activists have been asking the Supreme Court to keep these SC and ST's reservations and promotions into this 9th schedule. That is why this portion is very important, guys. In any of the examinations that can be asked. So already the UPSC has been asking these questions like past 2-3 years continuously in some or the other form. So 9th schedule here is important because First Amendment Act of 1951 has added this schedule into the constitution. Then there's another important thing why 9th schedule is important, because before April 24, 1973, any of the cases prior to this date, those that have been added to the 9th schedule will not be coming under the judicial review. Like nobody can go and file a case regarding any of cases or any of the subjects matter which are present before April 24, 1973 of these 9th schedule provisions. But after April 24, 1973, all the cases are now open to the judicial review. That is an important provision. And the final 10th schedule, as you all know, that 10th schedule relates to the disqualifications of the people or the MPs and MLAs who have been defecting from one party to the other. So this has been added by the 52nd Amendment Act. That is important. So this forms your basic schedules. In a brief idea I wanted to give you, because when you attempt the answers you will know like how to read. Now every one of you must have read this one, but you must have not noticed that English is not mentioned in this list. So that is why I am telling you that this test series will be unique in its approach to make you identify where the examiner is catching hold of the questions and how your preparation should be there. So here comes a very important slide, like features borrowed from different parts of the world, different parts of the countries, like what are the provisions that have been taken. Already in previous slides we have seen, right, Government of India Act of 1935. What are the provisions taken? Federal scheme, Office of Governor, then Public Service Commissions, emergency provisions, all of them have been taken. Whereas in British you have taken some parliamentary form of governance, legislative bodies, citizenship, cabinet, then parliamentary privileges and bicameral form of system. US Constitution basically gives you the fundamental rights, judiciary, impeaching your president, removing the High Court judges and Supreme Court judges, and post of vice president. So this forms the US Constitution basic provisions that were borrowed. When we come to the Ireland Constitution, we have borrowed the important DPSPs. Then we also have nomination to Rajya Sabha and method of election to president, which has already been asked in your examination. This question has been asked, right? Then comes your Canadian Constitution. It says that a federation with strong center, appointment of governors, and advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court has been taken from the Canada Constitution. Australian gives you very important concurrent list concept, freedom of trade, and joint sitting of two houses of parliament. Weimar Constitution of Germany gives you suspension of fundamental rights during emergency. So you must observe here where the Government of India Act of 1935 also talks about emergency, but this emergency is about the actual provisions of the emergency. But whereas suspending the fundamental rights during the emergency comes from the Germany. So that is the basic difference you need to identify. Then comes your Russia. From Russia we have taken the duties and justice principles of in the preamble. Then we have taken some ideals of liberty, equality, fraternity from the French Revolution of French Constitution. South African Constitution has given you the amendment procedure of the Constitution as well as the members election to the Rajya Sabha. Japanese Constitution established the procedure established by law that is inherent in our Constitution. So these are the basic features that have been borrowed. You just have to keep in your mind. We had enough discussion, right? So let's discuss some of the questions that were related to the previous slides. Like first question is, which of the in the Indian Constitution 8th schedule does not recognize? Yes, answer in English. That is right away, you have to just mark it. Usually, people will just get confused. Nepali must not be a language because it is not from India and all that. But guys, this is what a trap of the examiner is all about. He traps you at a portions where you feel that 8th schedule, everybody knows languages 22 in number. Initially they were 14. But what is actually examiner is concentrating upon? A trap where you can fall into this trap of marking the other answer options. Okay, the answer to this question is English. The next question is, 4th schedule is mentioning about the allocation of seats to states and union territories. That is important. And then 71, 9th schedule. 9th schedule is nothing but which of the following is correct. All of them has been wrongly mentioned. First Amendment Act of 1951 has added this 9th schedule to the Indian Constitution. So second amendment is wrong, and it consists of acts of parliament dealing with the land reforms, not just land reforms. It has many other provisions of zamindari systems and all these things. And then third one, it says that laws are added in it are subjected to judicial review. No, laws placed before April 24, 1973 are not under the judicial review. Only after the date are placed under judicial review. So the answer to this question is option D. So guys, here in this slide, there are 3 more questions are there. The first question, there is a slight correction that here incorrect option has to be mentioned. So I have to find the options in which incorrect statements have been given. So the incorrect thing is that a word federation finds mention in the Indian Constitution. No, this is wrong, because India according to the article 1 says that India is a Bharat or the union of states. So there is no word like federation in the Indian Constitution. So do correct this question. It is incorrect option should be asked for this question. Then comes the 73rd, which says that when the Constitution has came into force, like 26 November 1949, what are the provisions that were added? So all of the provisions, like there was election commissioner present, interpretation of the Constitution, like judicial interpretation, then power to the president to remove any kind of difficulties, all of the provisions have been mentioned in the Indian Constitution. So answer to this question is D. Then comes your 74th question, which says that bulwarks of the democratic system, without which the normal functioning of democracy becomes difficult. Which are the organizations or the bodies, constitutional or non-constitutional bodies? These are nothing but Election Commission, CAG, UPSC, kind of all these bodies are bulwarks of the Indian Constitution democratic system. So the answer to this question is D. Here, there's another set of questions. The first question says that independence of judiciary is established. Like independence in the sense there is no interference by the executive or legislature. How is it enhanced? It is ensured so that they get a fixed service conditions. Like until they reach their retirement age, nobody can remove them unless there is a procedure established in the parliament. So this gives the independence to the judiciary, which justifies that they can be independent on their own terms without any interference from the other organs of the governance. Okay, right? So the answer to this question is option B. Then comes your 76th question, which says that which of the following is correct. The first option is right, that we have a blend of parliamentary sovereignty, which is the British Constitution principle. This comes from the British and US principle of judicial supremacy. And the option B and C have been interchanged. American Constitution actually follows the judicial supremacy, whereas British Constitution follows the parliamentary sovereignty. So these kind of questions actually give you an extra information. So just for that passing reference, just have an idea about it. So the answer to this question is option A. Now let us come to the 77th question, which says that 3rd schedule consists oaths and affirmations related to who all. We have oaths and affirmations we have already seen in the previous slides, like oath and affirmations related to the union ministers, because judges, chairman of deputy and governors are not mentioned here. They are in the appendix of your Lakshmikant book. You can just go through the order of precedence and the oaths and affirmations of these provisions that have been mentioned in articles of the Constitution and not in the 3rd schedule. So this is the question. The answer to this question is union ministers. Another set of questions like which of the following amendment procedures have been taken from which country? So we have already seen this. We have taken from the South African Constitution that we have already seen in the previous slide. So this is a direct answer. Next comes the provision of not that have not been taken from the Canada. Canada, we have not taken the joint sitting provisions of the two houses. Do comment below and tell me from which country did we take this joint sitting of two houses of parliament, because the other three have been taken from the Canada itself. So this is a question. This is the trick in the question. You usually know that federal form of a governance system has been taken from Canada. Apart from that, we don't know anything. That is why please do read your textbooks properly. Come prepared for the test so that these traps you can easily solve it. So the answer to this question is joint sitting has not been taken from the Canada. Then comes the 80th question, which says that which of the following have been correctly matched. These articles, like if you see the 11th schedule articles are yes, the G provision comes under the 11th schedule. That is very true. The rest of the articles are interchanged. 9th schedule doesn't deal with the 32B. It deals with 31B and C provisions. 7th schedule, the listing is done where 246 doesn't relate to any of the listings. So that is also wrong. So the answer to this question is option A. So guys, here I complete the first portion of preamble and the salient features of Indian Constitution. Both the chapters combined, I have cleared all the questions related to it, which have been asked into your 19th April of exam. So solutions have been mentioned detailed, and the subsequent videos will be about, one will be about the DPSPs, another I'll be making about the fundamental rights, which are a very important topic, and many of the questions I have purposely asked from this area. And then a current affairs video will be also released for the solutions part. So in this piecewise approach, what will happen is it will be easier for you to revise and understand which chapters, how to focus, and how to read from your static books. That is what. And do also ask your friends and peers to join this test series, because it will benefit them also. It's a very minimal amount, guys. 999 amount, 37 tests, and 5,000, more than 5,000 questions you'll be solving before you attempt your actual group 2 examinations. So that is it for this session. Meet you soon with the other next solution videos for the 19th April test, which is also your first test. So until then, happy learning. Stay home, stay safe, take care.